year was in the 1 month winter retreat. Venerable children, Venerable Khonchok and I were in Singapore. And what surprised me was that I had a number of opportunities to do the Chenrezig practice in different settings. And that's what I'd like to share a bit about today. So the first day we arrived in Singapore, I received news that my grandmother had passed away, and very early in the morning. So immediately I had the opportunity to go and be at the wake over a number of days. And of course, I was very amazed how the karma ripened to be able to be with my family at that time. For many years I had made prayers to be a support to my mother, mainly because she's very, very close to my grandparents. Both my grandparents are in their 90s. My grandfather is still alive. So, when I left to ordain, I already mentally said goodbye, or every year I'm saying goodbye in some way, or, practicing for that moment. So it was quite something to be able to be in the country and to reconnect with the family in this way, because every day I went to the wake for a little bit to do prayers. Venerable Khonchok came, and I was very, very grateful that Venerable Chödrön was able to come and make a connection with my extended family. And she led the Chenrezig practice at the wake. So in Singapore, it's usually an open casket kind of setup. So, she led the practice, and then all these different family members. My family is not Buddhist, so it was just interesting for me to see who resonated with it, who came forward, who was like, oh, do you feel the power of the practice? And who was like, huh? Because I had one uncle who was very moved, and as my cousin said, gave a very positive Yelp review for us, going around telling everyone, like, do you feel her teacher's power? And other people are like, uh-huh. So it was just cool. And personally, I felt like, oh, good. All these people in my extended family have met my teacher. I can die now. My job is done. Not the most virtuous of mind states, but yeah. So that was one surprise, to be able to do this practice with my non-Buddhist family. And even greater surprise was around the same time, my cousin, his wife's mother passed away suddenly in Poland while on holiday, and she's fairly young, seemed to be in completely good health, was just on holiday with her youngest daughter, and had some intestinal issue, and then in a couple of days had cardiac arrest and passed away. And it was extremely stressful for my cousin's family because, they had to deal with interpreters, all kinds of bureaucracy to try and get the body back in Singapore. Not to mention just like the shock, and then she had been caring for their young twins. So everybody was like, and then to my great surprise, my cousin, near the end of my grandmother's wake, said, would you please come and do some prayers? And he's inclined toward Christianity, is my perception. His wife has no Buddhist religious background, but he said, please come. So of course I went, and it was just, again, relying on all the training we received here, how to relate to different people, walking into a situation where I don't know most of the people except my cousin and his wife. So I asked, did your mother have any kind of spiritual practice? And his wife said, well, she would go to the temple on Waterloo Street in Singapore that's dedicated to Kuan Yin, and she would pray to Kuan Yin. So I thought, well, what other practice should we do then? Obviously the Chenrezig practice immediately. So that's what I led, with them kind of standing around the coffin. And I thought to sing She Carries Me for some reason. And I hope it was helpful, I don't know. But again, just to be able to connect and contribute in this way, to again, just repeating everything I had heard Venerable say just about a week ago, now in a whole different, with a different group of people, but with the same kind of grief and suffering. And to be able to talk to her youngest sister, who was with the mother during the dying process, who blamed herself, of course, for bringing the mother on the holiday. I'm like, oh, karma ripens. We really, don't know. So to be able to, again, reconnect with this cousin and his family in this way was a nice surprise. And then a few days later, we're invited to help some friends of Sravasti Abbey Singapore bless their businesses. And for one of them, they were starting a new cafe. So again, we're in this kind of shopping mall near the hospital. It was like a completely crazy setting where in Singapore, it's like, story after story of shops and shops and shops and shops. And there's this little empty cafe space that's under renovation. And we're invited in there to help to bless the space. And again, Venerable led the Chenrezig practice, right? So we're going around reciting the long mantra, sprinkling water. And what was very beautiful was that she encouraged Richard, the owner, to think about running this business with compassion. And to think about how, make aspirations that everybody who comes into this business, everybody who comes to this cafe who has a meal here is going to have a peaceful and happy mind, is going to be of benefit to others, right? Is going to generate compassion. And so we're all there making these beneficial aspirations. And to my great surprise, at the end of the trip, we received a message from Richard over the phone. And he said that prayer really stuck with him. Because, shortly after the cafe opened, he always thought, and Venerable also pointed out, it's in the mall that's next to the hospital. Yeah, I mean, what else are you going to do? You're sick, you're going to go shopping. Or shop for the people who are sick, I guess. So, she said, you're going to get a lot of customers who are going to the hospital, right? So to think about that. And he really took it to heart. And so he said one day there was a customer in the cafe, and somehow he found out that this person was living in the hospital, something like that. It was like a long-term patient. And so he just thought, they live here. Why don't I just offer them the meal for free? He just had that thought. And the patient was, that person was just so touched. Yeah, it's like, and the person later said, I want to do some kind of add-on to the set meal, but I want to pay for that. Yeah, and then Richard said his staff immediately thought, no, we should sponsor everything. Yeah, but Richard told his staff, this person, they want to contribute. Yeah, it gives them dignity, let them do that. So, just the care and attention he took with this one person, and he sent this message saying, it's because of the practice we did together. It just helped me to have the right motivation for starting this cafe and to bear it in mind. So I thought, wow, just doing this practice, really, it kind of really blessed the cafe. It blessed his mind, really, to run a cafe with compassion. And then toward the end of the trip, there was one day, again, kind of surreal, where I was at a family gathering, and suddenly in a very short period of time, I got all these messages about people whose mothers were unwell in different varieties, and I quickly sent them to Venerable, who were also like, okay, just about everybody we know's mother is having some kind of issue. And for one of them, their mother was going to have a surgery. And they were just asking for prayers in general, but I just thought to offer, we're in Singapore, I'm happy to come see your mother if it would be helpful at all. And to my surprise, he agreed, because, I don't know, we don't have such a close connection maybe, and he's not a Tibetan Buddhist practitioner, but he said, just come, that's fine. And I was, again, consulting with Venerable, what should I do? And she said, you don't know, she might be connected to Chinese Buddhism, she may not be a Theravada practitioner, who knows? Yeah, just go there and find out. So I went, and I took some time to just connect with the mother, chat, see how she's doing. Of course, someone is about to go into some very intensive spinal surgery. She had a very happy mind. We talked about her kids, her grandkids, and of course something comes up about a strange family member, but I didn't know her well enough to kind of go further with that. But so we made a connection, and I thought to do the Chenrezig practice, right? What better way to go and have surgery than with a happy, compassionate mind, thinking of the kindness of others. And immediately she connected with that. She's like, oh yeah, the people here are so kind. She said, all these nurses, everybody's taking care of me, all my kids, the grandkids are here. Immediately, that just tuned her into the kindness of others. She started talking about that spontaneously, how she, just really appreciated all the care she was receiving from all kinds of monastics praying for her because her son had asked people to do that. So that was good. Yeah, we were immediately on the kind of a good track. Yeah, so I did the practice with her. And at the end, she seemed, the practice moved something in her. She didn't talk about it, but you could see that it had moved something. And to my great surprise, our friend at the end said, wow, I'm amazed my mother was so receptive. He said, first of all, because you're like a young nun, and I didn't think she was going to take you seriously. I was like, I'm not that young. I'm middle-aged, but okay. Then he said, also, I'm so amazed that this practice is so accessible. He said, it's so much better than trying to tell my mother about anicca, dukkha, and anatta. Yeah, impermanence, dukkha, and selflessness, which I'm like, really? You wanted to try and talk to her about that before surgery? Okay. So he said, it's so much better to do this practice, it helps her to have like a positive mind. And he's like, this is such an accessible practice for old people. And I was like, oh, this is an accessible practice for all people. I don't know. I do this as part of my daily practice. It's just that it has a lot to do with people who don't practice Mahayana Buddhism thinking it's like founded in superstition, that she's not actually a Buddha and so forth. So it's just interesting to hear his perspective. So yeah, I was surprised and very grateful for these opportunities to connect with Chenrezig, with all these different people in these ways, and just moved by the incredible compassion of the Buddha to create practices that are so accessible and yet at the same time deeply profound, as we are learning from all these teachings we're receiving on the Heart Sutra, that we can then go much, much deeper and now retreat with the Chenrezig practice. Yeah, so it was a good reminder of how to put into practice. Every day in the elevator, we would see this picture of Lama Zopa, right, telling us to live with compassion, die with compassion, grow old with compassion, eat with compassion, sleep with compassion. So suddenly it kind of came alive that way that yes, this is a practice I'll be doing every day, and hopefully when I die.
This aspiration to be a benefit to beings, not to harm them, to benefit them, and in our understanding, the best benefit is to actually for beings to be liberated from cyclic existence, and we aim to become Buddhas in order to help beings to be free in this way. So generate those thoughts in your own way. So when the children stayed out in the sadhana forest, helping us to generate these various mind states, and she starts by having us think about all of our potential, all the kind of positive qualities that we can develop. Infinite love, compassion, wisdom, skillful means. So imagine what it would feel like to be these qualities. Just let yourself love, wisdom, try to feel the expansiveness of peace in your heart. The wisdom that it takes to have this kind of heart. To be unencumbered in any way. Vast and expansive. Taking everything that's happening in this world, reaching out to every being, human and otherwise, to benefit each one. So now imagine that these qualities of love, compassion, wisdom, skillful means appear in front of you in the form of Shakyamuni Buddha. So imagine this Buddha in front of you, in the space in front of you, made of radiant, transparent light. He's sitting on a throne, above which is an open lotus flower, the sun moved us. This entire visualization is literally transparent light that you're imagining a living being with a light body. So you feel yourself in the presence of the Buddha. But Buddha's body is golden in color. He wears the robes of a monastic. His right hand, with the palm down, rests on his right knee. The earth touching Buddha. And his left hand is in his lap with a bowl of nectar. And this nectar is the medicine to cure our afflictions and all of our hindrances. And the Buddha's face is very beautiful. You can look at the Buddha's eyes. He's smiling. His eyes are smiling. He's looking at you with total acceptance. And as he looks at you, he's also encompassing all sentient beings. The Buddha's eyes are very peaceful, long and narrow. His lips are red, his earlobes are long. Imagine rays of light radiating from every pore of the Buddha's body. This golden light going out to all the parts of the universe, touching beings, carrying miniature Buddhas to help beings. And as they complete their work, they dissolve back into the Buddha. The Buddha is surrounded by the entire lineage of spiritual teachers, all the meditational deities, innumerable other Buddhas, Bodhisattvas, Arhats, Dakinis, Dakinis, Dharma protectors. And at the side, dear spiritual mentor, is an elegant table, not other Dharma books. The sounds of the Dharma fill there. And they're all so happy that we're here doing this together. Imagine their minds just blissful and peaceful, gazing at all sentient beings. So you imagine that actually you were surrounded by all sentient beings in human form. Your mother of this life is on your left. Your father of this life is on your right. Any people you have difficulty with, you imagine in front of you, facing the Buddha, keeping them there for protection. Family and friends are nearby, countless strangers fill the space around you. All of us are looking to the Buddha for guidance. So first we need to cultivate a sense of refuge. So we think of all the dangers of cyclic existence. Just think about how things are not secure. Run into dissatisfaction. Often dukkha, often. And people, all the beings around us, all the sentient beings around us, are also in the same boat of floundering in cyclic existence. And many of them have not had any kind of teachings that will help them out of this quiet mind. So we generate compassion. And now think of the wonderful qualities of the Buddha, Dharma, and Sangha that generate this sense of confidence in them, in their ability to guide you out of all of these recurring problems. So it is possible on the basis of your present life and mind to free yourself from all of these undesirable experiences. It's a resolve to explore that possibility to the fullest. Feel great trust and confidence in the three jewels, and open your heart to rely upon them to guide you and others from all of these difficulties of cyclic existence and bring us to the peace, liberation, full awakening. So as we do these refuge verses, starting here, at the top of page 21, we'll be taking refuge in the Buddha, and we imagine actually leading all of the sentient beings around us and going for refuge. And we visualize white, radiant light flowing from all of the Buddhas, the spiritual mentors, the Bodhisattvas, all of these holy beings flowing into us and all the beings around us. And this light completely purifies all of our destructive karmic imprints and afflictions. And it also brings all the realizations of the path. So put your hands in prayer position. Namo Guruvya. Namo Buddhaya. Namo Dharmaya. Namo Sanghaya. 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 So feel that you've come under the protection of the three jewels. resources of every kind. These contribute due to the efforts of others. Our knowledge, talents, good qualities, these too are developed due to the kindness of others. And our ability to practice the Dharma certainly depends on others who brought their teachings to us through an opinion, generating realizations of their mind and teaching. So this is a very great kindness, all of these things. We have to moderate our mind. Our most wishes to be free from suffering. And this is the case for everyone else as well. We want to be happy. All beings want to be happy. And like us, they encounter many difficulties, problems, sufferings. And usually, actually, their difficulties are more so than our own. Not always, but often. And when we examine our capacity to help beings, we find that we're actually quite limited. And we know from practice that if we can reduce our anger, our attachment, our ignorance, our various faults, and if we can increase all of our good qualities, we're really going to be in a position to benefit beings. Imagine if we had just this generous heart, gives so easily, takes delight in giving, the kind of ethics that doesn't harm, has that just ingrained fortitude, loving kindness, compassion, wisdom, we will be in an excellent position to help beings by having our good qualities developed. And if we develop them fully, like Buddha does, then we'll be able to be of the greatest benefit to beings. So we generate this altruistic intention in order to be able to benefit beings most effectively. So as we take refuge and generate bodhicitta, imagine the light is flowing into you from all of these Buddhas and holy beings. And it's flowing into you and all the sentient beings around. So we're on the top of page 22. I take refuge until I have awakened in the Buddhas, the Dharma, and the Sangha. By the merit I create by engaging in generosity and the other far-reaching practices may I attain Buddhahood in order to benefit all sentient beings. I take refuge until I have awakened in the Buddha, the Dharma, and the Sangha. By the merit I create by engaging in generosity and the other far-reaching practices may I attain Buddhahood in order to benefit all sentient beings. I take refuge until I have awakened in the Buddha, the Dharma, and the Sangha. By the merit I create by engaging in generosity and the other far-reaching practices may I attain Buddhahood in order to benefit all sentient beings. So imagine the Buddha is so pleased with your altruistic intention. And the replica emerges from the Buddha, comes to the crown of your head, melts into golden light, flows into you. Feel that you and the Buddha become inseparable. Feel very close to the Buddha and allow your mind to be transformed and inspired. perceptions you have about yourself. Let go of any self-denigrating thoughts. Let go of the concept of inherent existence and meditate on emptiness. As your heart pierces small with a reed of light, you radiate the light of wisdom and compassion in all directions throughout the entire universe. And this light transforms all sentient beings into Buddhas, and all environments into pure lands, which are places where all the circumstances are conducive to practicing the Dharma and generating realizations. So imagine this. You've transformed all sentient beings into Buddhas and all environments into pure lands. In your imagination, oh, why hasn't this become a reality? We sentient beings have bias, prejudice, we lack love, compassion, and joy. So now we want to wish ourselves and others to have all of these qualities. So we contemplate the four immeasurables. We do this to reinforce our own felt experience of love, compassion, joy, and equanimity for everyone, friends, strangers, enemies, relatives, people we don't like, people we don't trust, people we like, everyone. So as we say those four measurables, you want to listen to yourself say the words and contemplate as you recite. We'll pause between each of the four. May all sentient beings have happiness and its causes. May all sentient beings be free of suffering and its causes. May all sentient beings not be separated from sorrowless bliss. May all sentient beings abide in equanimity, free of bias, attachment, and anger. So, in order to achieve what we've just been aspiring towards, we need to purify our activities, and we need a lot of merit. We need to abandon things and adopt things. So when we do this seven-line prayer, this encompasses all this abandoning and adopting things. So we'll pause after each line. And put your hands in the prayer position for this. Reverently, I prostrate with my body, speech, and mind. So imagine yourself and all of the beings, the sentient beings around you, making prostrations to all the holy beings in front of you. The field of merit, repeatedly prostrating. And present clouds of every type of offering, actual and mentally transformed. So imagine offering everything beautiful to the Buddha and all the holy beings. You can fill the sky with offerings. Make it very lovely and beautiful. You can think of flowers and fields and just everything that you love. destructive actions accumulate, so let's begin this time. So now we do a quick glance meditation for powers. For this, bring to mind something that you wish to purify, some fault or mistake. Clearly to mind, generate regret for that. And then the other powers of taking refuge in Jigri Bodhicitta, which we're doing in the practice. The practice itself will be the remedial action, but make a determination not to do this action again. And rejoice in the virtues of all holy and ordinary beings. So think of common sentient beings like ourselves, the holy beings, and delight, rejoice in all of the virtue created by being kind of let go of any jealousy, envy, and just rejoice in the goodness of the world. Use your own life experience, think of things, people that you want to rejoice. Please remain until cyclic existence ends. So now we offer a double dorje. This symbolizes long life. We offer this to the holy beings. We do this requesting them to live long, to always be a part of our life. And you can do this multiple times in your imagination. And turn the wheel of Dharma for sentient beings. So again, make this offering. You're offering with both hands. It's a beautiful 1,000-spoke Dharma wheel, golden color. Offering this to the teachers and the Buddhas to guide you, to continue to teach the Dharma. I dedicate all of the virtues of myself and others to the Great Awakening. So now we steer these limbs toward full awakening for ourselves and all beings. And all for the mandala. Here we imagine everything beautiful in the universe, offering it to all holy beings with the wish that they will continue to teach and guide us and that we can generate realizations in our mind. This ground anointed with perfume, flowers strewn mounts make room for land, sun, and moon. Imagined as a Buddha land and offered to you, may all beings enjoy this pure land. The objects of attachment, aversion, and ignorance, friends, enemies, and strangers, my body, wealth, and enjoyments, I offer these without any sense of loss. Please accept them with pleasure and inspire me and others to be free from the three poisonous attitudes. Idam Guru Ratna Mandala Kamniyataya. So imagine all the holy beings just delighted, and they receive your offerings. And the offerings melt into light, dissolve into them, and these all absorb into the Buddha's heart, and immediately radiates light back to you, filling your body and mind. And this light inspires you to accomplish the path to full awakening. progress along the path, we need to develop realizations. And in order to do this, we need the inspiration of the lineage of spiritual mentors, especially your principal teacher or your guru, who is the one who has touched your heart deeply. If you don't have a specific teacher, just think about Shakyamuni Buddha. Maybe you have a connection in your mind with this Buddhist. And we make this request, page 25. Glorious and precious Rupa, sit upon the lotus and moon seat on my come, guiding me with your great kindness. Bestow upon me the attainments of your body, speech, and mind. And so then, at this point, you imagine that a replica of your teacher, in the aspect of the Buddha, emerges from the Buddha in front of you. And it comes to sit on a lotus or moon disc on the crown of your head, facing the same direction as you. So then this Buddha on the crown of your head is going to act as an advocate for you, to request inspiration from the entire field of merit as we continue with the request. We're doing the long one on page 26. Buddha, unequal teacher and guide, venerable protector Maitreya, successor, superior Sangha prophesied by Buddha. To you, three Buddhas and Bodhisattvas, I make request. Buddha, head of the Shakya clan, the foremost guide, peerless in expounding emptiness. Manjushri, embodiment of the Buddha's complete wisdom, exalted Nagarjuna, best of the superiors who sees the profound meaning. To you, three crowning jewels of clear exposition, I make request. Atisha, upholder of this great vehicle, who sees the profundity of dependent arising. Drone Rinpoche, elucidator of this good path. To these two ornaments of the world, I make request. Avalokiteshvara, great treasure of objectless compassion. Manjushri, masteress of flawless wisdom. Shomskapa, crown jewel of the snowy land sages. Losangrapa, I make request at your feet. Holder of the white lotus, embodiment of all the conqueror's compassion. Guide benefiting migrating beings in the land of snow mountains and beyond. Soul, deity, and refuge, Tenzin Gyatso, at your feet I make request. The eyes of whom the vast scriptures are seen. Supreme doors for the fortunate who would cross over to spiritual freedom. Illuminators whose wise needs vibrate with compassion. To the entire line of spiritual mentors I make request. So you can imagine all of the figures in the field of merit melting into light, dissolving into the central figure of the Buddha in front of you. All the Buddhas, the Bodhisattvas, the Arhats, Dakas, the Kings, Dharma protectors, all of these beings melt into light, dissolve into the central figure of Shakyamuni Buddha. And now Shakyamuni Buddha embodies the three jewels. And this Buddha absorbs into the Buddha on the crown of your head. And then as we recite the Buddha's mantra, try to let your mind be very open, receptive. Imagine this white light flowing into you from the Buddha on the crown of your head. It purifies all your negativities, all your obscurations, and it integrates within you realizations of the stages of the path. So we'll recite the Buddha's mantra together. Tayata Om Mune Mune Maha Mune Soha. 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 Tayata Tayata Om Mune Mune Maha Mune Suha. 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 Now, establish the visualization of Shakyamuni Buddha above the crown of your head. Be a cold, transparent, radiant light, a living being. And this Buddha melts into light, dissolves into your body, speech, and mind, become inseparable from the news of the Buddha. The dedication prayers, starting on the page that we're on in the sun, which is 27. Due to this merit, may we soon attain the awakened state of Guru Buddha, that we may be able to liberate all sentient beings from their suffering. May the precious Bodhi mind, not yet born, arise and grow. May that born have no decline, but increase forevermore.
I must not fear. Fear is the mind killer. I must not fear. Fear is the mind killer. Fear is the little death that brings total obliteration. I will face my fear. I will permit it to pass over me and through me. nothing. Only I will remain. I must not fear. Fear is the mind killer. Fear is the little death that brings total obliteration. I will face my fear. I will permit it to pass over me and through me. And when it has gone past, I will turn the inner eye to see its path. Where the fear has gone, there will be nothing. Only I will remain. What's in the box? What's in the box? What's in the box? Pain. Pain. What's in the box? What's in the box? What's in the box? Pain. Pain. What's in the box? What's in the box? What's in the box? Pain. Pain. What's in the box? What's in the box? What's in the box? Pain. Pain. You've heard of animals chewing off a leg to escape a trap? That's an animal kind of trick. A human would remain in the trap, endure the pain, feigning death that he might kill the trapper and remove a threat to his kind. Why are you doing this? Why are you doing this? To determine if you're human, be silent. It burns. Silence. His world emptied of everything except the hand immersed in agony. He thought he could feel skin curling black on that agonized hand, the flesh crisping and dropping away until only charred bones remained. What's in the box? What's in the box? What's in the box? Pain. Pain. What's in the box? What's in the box? What's in the box? Pain. Pain. What's in the box? What's in the box? What's in the box? Pain. Pain. What's in the box? What's in the box? What's in the box? Pain. Pain. It stopped, as though a switch had been turned off. The pain stopped. Enough. Take your hand from the box, young human, and look at it. Do it. Do it. He jerked his hand from the box, stared at it astonished. Not a mark. No sign of agony on the flesh. He held up the hand, turned it, flexed the fingers. Pain, she sniffed. A human can override any nerve in the body. Ever sift sand through a screen? We Bene Gesserit sift people to find the humans. Paul felt that he had been infected with terrible purpose. He did not know yet what the terrible purpose was. Why do you test for humans? To set you free. To set you free. Free. Once, men turned their thinking over to machines in the hopes that this would set them free. That only permitted other men with machines to enslave them. Thou shalt not make a machine in the likeness of a human mind.
intelligence, high energy, high integrity. That's the three-part checklist that you cannot compromise on. You need someone who's smart or they're heading in the wrong direction. You need someone high energy because the world is full of smart, lazy people. Everyone's smart at different things. So depending on what you want to do well, you have to find someone who's smart at that thing. And then energy, a lot of times people are unmotivated for a specific thing, but they're not motivated for other things. So for example, someone might be really unmotivated to go to a job and sit in an office, but they might be really motivated to go paint. Well, in that case, they should be a painter. They should be putting art up on the internet, trying to figure out how to build a career out of that, rather than wearing a collar around their neck and going to a dreary job. And then high integrity is the most important, because otherwise, without the other two, you have the smart and hardworking crook who's eventually going to cheat you. So you have to figure out the person's high integrity, and the way you do that is through signals. And signals is what they do, not what they say. It's all the nonverbal stuff that people do when they think nobody's looking. That have high intelligence, high energy, high integrity, high energy, high integrity, high energy. People to work with that have high intelligence, high energy, high integrity. That's the three-part checklist that you cannot compromise on. I almost won't start a company or hire a person or work with somebody if I just don't think they're into what I want them to do. When I was younger, I used to try and talk people into things. That was this idea that you can sell someone into doing something, but you can't. You can't keep them motivated. You can get them inspired initially. It might work if you're a king like Henry V and you're trying to get them to just charge into battle, and then they'll figure it out. But if you're trying to keep someone motivated for the long term, that motivation has to come intrinsically. You can't just create it, nor can you be the crutch for them. Reading signals is very, very important. Signals are what people do, despite what they say. We all know this socially. If someone treats a waiter or waitress in a restaurant really badly, then it's only a matter of time until they treat you badly. If somebody screws over an enemy and is vindictive towards them, it's only a matter of time before they redefine you from friend to enemy and you feel their wrath. Angry, outraged, vindictive, short-term thinking people are that way in many interactions in their life. People to work with that have high intelligence, high energy, high integrity, high energy, high integrity, high energy. People to work with that have high intelligence, high energy, high integrity. That's the three-part checklist that you cannot compromise on. People are oddly consistent. It's one of the things you learn about them. So you want to find long-term people. You want to find people who seem irrationally ethical. That's the kind of person you want to work with. Self-esteem is a reputation that you have with yourself. You'll always know. Good people, moral people, ethical people, easy to work with people, reliable people tend to have very high self-esteem because they have very good reputation with themselves and they understand that. It's not ego. Self-esteem and ego are different things. Because ego can be undeserving, but self-esteem, at least you feel like you lived up to your own internal moral code of ethics. The more someone is saying that they're moral and ethical and high integrity, the less likely they are to be that way. It's very much like status signaling. If you overly talk about being high status, that is a low status movement. If you openly talk about how honest and reliable and trustworthy you are, you're probably not that honest and trustworthy. That is a characteristic of con men. People who work with that have high intelligence, high energy, high integrity, high energy, high integrity, high energy. People who work with that have high intelligence, high energy, high integrity. That's the three-part checklist that you cannot compromise on. People who work with that have high intelligence, high energy, high integrity, high energy, high integrity, high energy. People who work with that have high intelligence, high energy, high integrity. That's the three-part checklist that you cannot compromise on. right then and there. Inspiration is perishable. When you have your inspiration, do it right then and there. This happens to me a lot with my TweetStorm. I've actually come up with a whole bunch of additional TweetStorms besides the ones that are already out there, but sometimes I just hesitate or I just pause and then it just dies. And what I've learned is if I'm inspired to write a blog post or to publish a TweetStorm, I should probably do it right away. Otherwise, it's not going to get out there. I won't come back to it. Inspiration is perishable. When you have your inspiration, do it right then and there. Inspiration is perishable. When you have your inspiration, do it right then and there. 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 Inspiration is perishable. When you have your inspiration, do it right then and there. Inspiration is a beautiful and powerful thing. And when you have it, just seize it. Inspiration is a beautiful and powerful thing. And when you have it, just seize it. Impatience with actions and patience with results. That's actually a good philosophy for life. Anything you have to do, just get it done. Why wait? You're not getting any younger. Your life is slipping away. You don't want to spend it waiting in line, traveling back and forth. You're doing things that you know ultimately aren't part of your mission. When you do them, you want to do them as quickly as you can while you do them well with your full attention. But then you just have to give up on the results. You have to be patient with the results because you're dealing with complex systems, you're dealing with lots of people. It takes a long time for markets to adopt products. It takes time for people to get comfortable working with each other. It takes time for great products to emerge as you polish away, polish away, polish away. Polish away, polish away, polish away. Polish away, polish away, polish away. Inspiration is perishable. When you have your inspiration, do it right then and there. Inspiration is perishable. When you have your inspiration, do it right then and there. 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 Inspiration is perishable. When you have your inspiration, do it right then and there. If I have a problem that I discover in one of my businesses that needs to be solved, I basically won't sleep until at least the resolution is in motion. And this is just a personal feeling, but if I'm on the board of a company, I'll call the CEO. If I'm running the company, I'll call my reports. If I'm responsible, I'll get on there right then and there and solve it. If I don't solve a problem the moment it happens, or I don't start moving towards solving it when it happens, I have no peace, I have no rest, I have no happiness until that problem is solved. So solve it as quickly as possible. I literally won't sleep until it's solved. So solve it as quickly as possible. I literally won't sleep until it's solved. Inspiration is perishable. When you have your inspiration, do it right then and there. Inspiration is perishable. When you have your inspiration, do it right then and there. 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 Inspiration is perishable. When you have your inspiration, do it right then and there. Maybe that's a personal characteristic, but it's worked out well in business.
Existence, the physical universe, is basically playful. There is no necessity for it whatsoever. It isn't going anywhere. That is to say, it doesn't have some destination that it ought to arrive at, but that it is best understood by analogy with music. Because music, as an art form, is essentially playful. We say you play the piano. You don't work the piano. Why? Music differs from, say, travel. When you travel, you are trying to get somewhere. One doesn't make the end of a composition the point. If that were so, the best conductors would be those who played fastest.
And there would be composers who wrote only finales. You would go to a concert just to hear one crashing chord. Because that's the end. Existence, the physical universe, is basically playful. There is no necessity for it whatsoever. It isn't going anywhere. Existence, the physical universe, is basically playful. But it is best understood by analogy with music. Because music, as an art form, is essentially playful. Say, when dancing, you don't aim at a particular spot in the room. That's where you should arrive. The whole point of the dancing is the dance. Now, but we don't see that as something brought by our education into our everyday conduct. We've got a system of schooling which gives a completely different impression. It's all graded. And what we do is we put the child into the corridor of this grade system. So they kind of come on, kitty, kitty, kitty. And you know, you go to kindergarten, you know, and that's a great thing because when you finish that, you'll get into first grade. And then come on, first grade leads to second grade and so on, and then you get out of grade school, you go to high school, and it's revving up, the thing is coming. Then you're going to go to college, and by Jove, then you get into graduate school. And when you're through with graduate school, you go out to join the world. Then you get into some racket where you're selling insurance, and they've got that quota to make. And you're going to make that. And all the time, this thing is coming. It's coming. It's coming. That great thing. That great thing. Thing is coming. It's coming. It's coming. That great thing. That great thing. The success you're working for. Then when you wake up one day about 40 years old, you say, my God, I've arrived. I'm there. And you don't feel very different from what you always felt. By expectation, look at the people who live to retire and put those savings away. And then when they're 65, they don't have any energy left. They're more or less impotent. And they go and rock in a senior citizens community. Because we've simply cheated ourselves the whole way down the line. We thought of life by analogy with a journey, with a pilgrimage, which had a serious purpose at the end, and the thing was to get to that end. Success or whatever it is, or maybe heaven, after you're dead. But we missed the point the whole way along. It was a musical thing, and you were supposed to sing or dance while the music was being played. Everybody, glad you could make it. Today will be, for some of you, most incredible day of your life. Not everyone. Some of you will just get a little bit smarter. Others of you will find a transformational experience happening tonight. Yes, tonight you're going to find out the user interface for reality itself. The user interface for reality itself. So that you can author your own reality. The user interface for reality itself. Don't believe it? Why are you here? Yeah, you're curious. You're wondering, can I do it? Well, you're gonna find out. Well, you're gonna find out. So, it turns out that there are some stories that can't be told right away. There are some things that by their nature cannot be communicated. There are a number of reasons why some stories can't be told. Maybe there's a secret involved. Maybe somebody's being honest, they don't want to brag. Maybe there's a lack of credentials involved. It might be a question of loyalty. You've promised you wouldn't tell somebody. You don't want to hurt somebody. It might be complicated. And so, just too hard to explain. This is important to know because you're going to wonder, why didn't I tell you where the user interface for reality was before? The user interface for reality itself. The user interface for reality itself. So that you can author your own reality. The user interface for reality itself. It's kind of a heck of a thing to hold out, isn't it? And the reason is, I couldn't tell you before. There needed to be a certain perfect situation. And that perfect situation happened today. Today. After 22 years, my plan came together. Today. And that plan was that someday I wanted to be in a position to tell you the things that I'll tell you today that I couldn't tell you until now. The user interface for reality itself. The user interface for reality itself. So that you can author your own reality. The user interface
complete today.